But the fatty acids that our brain's made out of, 40 to 50% of our brain is made out of a fatty acid that we actually have to consume. We can't produce it on our own. And it's only available through animal products. And probably the most ethical, the most vegetarian way to do it is krill oil. So krill is kind of like little baby seafood, little baby fishes, and little tiny plants that come from the ocean. So if you're not really crazy about eating animals, try just supplementing with some krill oil. It'll be really good for your brain. It's really good for your nervous system. And it's also really good for our endocrine system, so all the hormones that our body runs on. A lot of our nutrition really triggers an endocrine response. So if you are vegetarian, make sure you're getting some form of an omega-3 fatty acid from an animal. Coconut oil is great. That's got a lot of great omega-3 fatty acids too. But I can't remember if it's DHA or EPA. One of the animal source, you'd see it in fish oil. One of those, I think it's EPA, like 40% of our brain is made out of that. And if we're not getting any from animal sources, we're not going to get it from, it's not available from plants, unfortunately. So look into krill oil. That might work for you. Whether you're a vegetarian for ethical reasons or just you don't function well on animal products, just look at krill oil, see what you think. It might be, yeah, I'm not saying one way or the other, but I'm just saying that that's what our body, how our body runs, unfortunately. So getting out here to talk about what my responsibility is as a trainer, I'm trying to provide unequaled results. So train a minimum of 3 times a week. If your trainer is not requiring 3 times a week, they're only in it for the money. This isn't about money, it's about results. So I've let people go when they don't show up. I will not necessarily hound people, but I'll try to stay in touch with people. Email, text messages, phone calls. How's it going? What's your schedule like? Can you get in this morning? Can you get in this evening? Because I'm really focused on delivering those results. So people will hear from me if I'm not seeing them a minimum 3 times a week. So my call to action is to start a training program and dedicate yourself to it at least 3 times a week. The people that I have getting the most amazing results, how does it make you feel when someone quits? Well, I'm okay. If someone quits or I let somebody go, I know that some point in their life they will be motivated enough to make a change somehow. Sometimes it takes us a while to actually get to, kind of dig down into where we really need to get to. Sometimes we want to lose weight. There's probably trainers like me around you. Just keep looking. Don't give up. Don't lose heart. There are people out there. Just tell them what you're wanting. Tell them what you're trying to accomplish. But it's really hard for people to get in touch with what's really motivating them. We'll say we want to lose weight, or we say we want to build more muscle, or we want to be faster. But we got to figure out why. What is the real motivator behind that? For me, I felt like I was going to die. I pictured in my mind, in my mid-30s, I pictured in my mind people having a hard time hauling my carcass out of my house if I dropped dead. That was a huge motivator for me, because I really felt from my late 20s into my mid-30s that I was just going downhill really fast. And I remember talking to my father about it, and I said, I got to do something, because all I can picture is the EMTs coming in and putting me on a gurney and hauling my carcass off to the funeral home. It was pretty harsh. And it wasn't necessarily like overweight. I was heavy, but I had no energy. I just didn't feel like I could do anything even close to even going upstairs. I just felt horrible. And I just, long term, as a husband and a father, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm not going to be long in this world if I keep this up. And so it wasn't really overweight, but just I wasn't where I wanted to be, and I knew I could do better. So that's really what motivated me, and that's when I started training, and I didn't know how to squat, I didn't know how to do a deadlift, I didn't know how to climb a rope, I didn't know any of the things that we do now. Thank you. So this one girl, she eats only 2 slices of bread every day for 2 months. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, is that you, Debbie, eating 2 slices of bread a day without exercise? I mean, if we're eating, yeah, that's not healthy. It's hard because you want people to lose weight, but we want to do it. Yeah, she lost about 30 kilos, and she may have lost, thank God that's not you. She lost 30 kilos. That could have been not just fat, that could have been, muscle. Her cardiac muscle may have shrunk. Her glutes and her thighs and everything may have wasted away during that time period, and she probably really hit her endocrine system pretty hard. So there is really intelligent ways to lose weight. Look at, I wouldn't necessarily say a paleo diet, but look at a real food diet. Balance out the macronutrients. Yeah, it's not good for your organs. But look at balancing out your macronutrients calorically. So by volume, say you're eating a piece of protein, it may be the size of your fist, and then fill the rest of your plate with vegetables, and then add a little fat to that, maybe like a handful, like a little palmful of some nuts. Macadamia nuts are really great because they're high in omega-3s. If you eat animal products, some fish oil, coconut oil is really great. Homemade mayonnaise is really great. I tried everything, but it didn't work for me. So don't give up. There is something. I tried everything too, and nothing was working for me either until I got to my mid-30s. I started doing CrossFit, changed my nutrition, and changed how I exercised. So before I was doing CrossFit, I could tell that eating grains made me feel gross and slow, and I'd be really foggy-headed. So I didn't eat a lot, but I still had grains in my diet. After I started training CrossFit, I actually took grains out completely, and I haven't eaten really any wheat or grain products in 5 years. And I've just increased my vegetable intake and increased my fat intake. I lose 4 kilos. You're sick because you're dieting. So Debbie, maybe you can try eating some real food. Like, I don't know if you're doing supplements or meal replacements, but try eating real food. A third of your calories from protein, a third of your calories from vegetables or a carbohydrate, and a third of your calories from fat. And see if you feel better on that. And every meal should be in those ratios. Every snack should be in those ratios. I'm glad you're getting some motivation from this. That's why I'm doing this. So nutrition, that's a huge piece. 70 to 80% of your gains are going to come from nutrition. So I would recommend looking into a really balanced macronutrient. So protein, fat, and carbohydrate. A third of your calories every meal from protein, a third of your calories every meal from fat, and a third of your calories every meal from carbohydrate. And for your carbohydrate, try to make it plant sources like vegetables and some fruit. Okay? I hope that works for you, Debbie. If you want to follow me and keep me in the loop, let me know how things go for you. I think your goal is totally attainable. If you want to add some training into your weight loss plan, just search and find a great coach. There's going to be people out there. Yeah. Just keep trying, keep searching. There's going to be somebody out there. And you'll definitely get to where you want to be. And the cool thing about how I teach people to eat is instead of being a diet, it just becomes a lifestyle. And so once we lose the weight, then it's sustainable. Because you get used to eating a third of your calories from protein, a third of your calories from carbohydrates, vegetables, and a third of your calories from fat. And it becomes completely sustainable. So you can actually go out and eat, look at stuff on the menu and say, that looks like it would be in the right ratios. I'm going to order that. I'm not going to worry about it. And if it's not quite perfect, no big deal. Because tomorrow's another day. You get back on meat or some kind of protein, carbohydrate, vegetables, and some kind of fat. preferably omega-3s, some omega-6s, and some omega-9s. So I was just getting on here to talk about my responsibility, trying to give people unequaled results. It's not about the money, it's about the results. And so if they're not training a minimum of 3 days a week, I don't want them here because then it sets them up for failure. If we get them in the habit of training 3 days a week, it turns into 4 days a week, it turns into 5 days a week, and eventually I've got people training 6 days a week. We're closed Sunday, so if I start Sunday classes, I'll probably have people training 7 days a week. And of course, the more they train, the more incredible the transformations, the bigger the results. And it's all kinds of people trying to lose weight, people trying to put on weight, trying to get bigger, trying to get stronger. So we can do either of those and everything in between. So I really appreciate you guys getting on. I've got to do my workout for the day. I'm going to try to beat a workout that I did a month ago, see if I can shave some time off of that. I'm feeling pretty good. So that should go pretty good. But I really appreciate you guys getting on. If you don't have any more questions, I'll leave this open for another minute or so. So Debbie, if you have a personal question, I'm kind of like new to this Periscope stuff, so I'm sure there's some way you can message me. I think I've got my contact information in my profile, so if you want to drop me a line, I'd be more than happy to help you out. And of course, everything will be confidential. I don't share people's email addresses. I don't share people's stories unless I have their permission. But yeah, if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to go get into my workout. I really appreciate you guys getting on here. One last look at the beautiful day outside. It's absolutely gorgeous. So keep it up, Debbie. Keep up the good work. You will get the results you want. And thanks for tuning in.